All right, so we're going to talk about long division, which is something that you're pretty familiar with, but we're just going to talk about a few things about it just to make sure we're all on the same page. So first of all, we filled out our table of contents, so we're done with that. Now, if you'll look at the foldable that I gave you, the doodle notes that I gave you, this is at the top of it. It's just a reminder of that vocabulary. So quotient is the answer. Divisor, remember that's the visitor, the guy outside the house. The dividend is the guy in the den, the one that you are dividing into. So we've got that. You may have heard this before. You may have heard different rhymes to go along with the steps, but does McDonald's serve burgers? Repeat until you reach 0 and have... just repeat until you reach 0 and have no numbers to bring down. Or if we get to the end and we have to add a decimal, and we'll talk about that in a second, add a decimal or write it as a fraction. But I think this is pretty familiar to you from before. Okay, so this example, if you'll open up your foldable, I have this example inside for you, and I'm just really quickly going to run through the steps just to make sure you remember. And I realize that most of y'all are past this, but that's okay. We're just going to talk about it really quickly. You don't need to write anything because I have all of this in your notes. So we remember that the first number is the one that goes inside the house, 15072, and 12 goes on the outside. So we're going to start dividing. Generally speaking, you want to think about having one number above every single, or something above every single number, so you can make sure you don't forget anything. So I'm just going to put an X above the 1 because 12 doesn't go into 1. But does 12 go into 15?
Yes.
How many times?
1.
1. So 1 times 12 is 12. Subtract. 15 minus 12 is 3. Bring down our next number. Those are the steps, remember. So our next number is 0. So 12 into 30. How many times is 12 going to go into 30? 2 times. So we put it above that 0 because that's the one we brought down. 2 times 12 is 24. So we're going to subtract that. 30 minus 24, what's that give us? 6. Bring down our next number. That's a 7. Anybody know how many times 12 goes into 67? 5. Okay. 12 times 5 is 60. Subtract again, we get 7. Bring down our last number. That's 2. How many times does 12 go into 72? 6 times. And it's going to go, I ran out of room, but it's going to go 72. 72 is the number, so we get 0 at the bottom. So we don't have to keep going because we got a 0 at the bottom. Okay, so that's just a basic steps. That's following that multiply, divide, subtract, bring down. Now, we've talked a little bit about this earlier, but this is just talking about what to do with remainders. And we talked when we were doing some earlier activities, we talked about how we never write that little R something ever again. I never ever want to see you write that again because that's just something you do in elementary. That's not middle school, high school. That's not really the technical way to do it. So what do you do with remainders? You write them either as a fraction or as a decimal. Okay, sometimes it might ask you how many are left over, and then you can just say how many were left over. But generally, you're going to write it as a fraction or as a decimal. So for option 1, and this is also in your notes, for option 1, where it says write as a fraction, you just write the remainder over the divisor, and I think most of you already know that, and then simplify it. Don't forget that. That's always important. You're always going to simplify or reduce your fraction unless you're told otherwise. Okay? Now, for writing as a decimal, this may be something that's kind of new to you, and I'm going to change one thing that some of you told me before you'd been told in the past. So we're going to change it a little bit. So I want you to read through this with me when it says to decimals. And by the way, you need to know how to do both of these. If you prefer to write fractions, it's okay, but you need to know how to do decimals. Anybody have an idea why I'm telling you need to know both? Why do you need to know both, Jordan?
Money.
Well, money, but there's another reason. Yeah.
Because on paper, if I ask for you to put in a decimal point.
Yeah, so because it might ask you for a fraction answer or a decimal answer, and you need to know how to get both of those. So you do need to know, if you're really good at one of them, that's fine, but you got to get good at both of them. And we'll talk about transferring between fractions and decimals a little bit more in the future, and I think you've done some of that. But all right, so here's what I do when I'm dividing and I get a remainder. I'm going to start with I add 3 zeros. So if I get to the end of my dividing problem and there's a remainder left, I just add a decimal and 3 zeros. Don't forget the decimal, by the way. Don't just add 3 zeros. So you're going to add a decimal and 3 zeros. Here's why. Here's why I always do 3. Because number one, it could just end within those 3 zeros. So in other words, I could get a 0.5 and I would be done. So that can happen, and then I don't need the rest of my zeros. It could start repeating. If it's going to start repeating most of the time, it's going to repeat within those first 3 decimals. So you'll see it. You'll start to see that repeating, and then remember you just put the line over it. Or you can find that it goes on forever. If that's the case, most of the time you're not going to need to go out past 3. So at that point you can stop at 3 and round. Now I know a few of y'all told me that in elementary they said, well, just stop at 2 and leave it there. But I want you to go a little step further now, and instead of stopping at 2, I want you to round your answer. How many people are familiar with rounding decimals? Good. Okay. So we'll get to that in just a second. So these are your 3 choices with decimals. It's either going to end, it's going to repeat, or it can go on forever, and in which case you're just going to round it to 2 places behind the decimal. That's just a rule of thumb. Sometimes they'll say something different, but that's just a rule of thumb. If you're just doing it and nobody gives you any further direction, that's what I would do. Okay, so if you will look inside of your thing, you have these 2 problems. I would like for you to work these 2 problems out real quickly, showing me all of your steps. Work out these 2 problems quickly, showing me all of your steps. And you can just stop there for a minute when you're done. Hopefully you got these 2 answers. Do remember to circle your answers. I think most of you seem like you're pretty good at that. But whenever we're working problems, if you'll circle answers, because lots of times it becomes a lot of numbers on the paper. So we need to make sure we're circling our answers. So any questions about those?
No.
For these 3, I want to real quickly do these together, not because they're super difficult, because each one represents a different kind of remainder. So I just want to talk about them together really quickly. So let's start with the first one. We have 200 divided by 16. So I'm going to do 16 divided into 200. So 16 does not go into 2. 16 goes into 21 time. That's 16. 4. Bring down the 0. How many times does 16 go into 40? 2 times. What's that going to be? 32. Isn't it 32? Okay. Subtract, and we get an 8. Now, our problem is we can't stop now because we have a remainder. We have a number left over. So there are a couple of things we can do. First, let's just make it into a fraction. So did y'all remember you put this over that? You put the remainder over the divisor. Yeah, the divisor, right? Yes, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So we would get 12 and 8 over 16. But we're not finished, right? We have to reduce it to what?
12.5.
Yeah, 12 and a half. All right, so that's writing it as a fraction. Now, if we were writing it as a decimal, I want you to have both of these on your papers just so you have it to remember. So if we were writing it as a decimal, remember my rule of thumb is add a decimal and 3 zeros. Put your decimal straight up into the answer. And then we'll just continue to divide. So 16 into 80, how many times does that go? 5. Yep, it goes 5 times. And 5 times 16 is 80, just in case you didn't know that. And now we got a 0. So we don't need these 2 extra zeros because we got a 0 here and we're finished. So our answer is either 12 and a half or 12.5. How many people knew that those 2 were the same thing already? Good, good. I'm hoping that you do. And if you don't, it's okay. So the answer is 12 and a half or 12.5. They mean exactly the same thing. Okay, so that's one example where it just ended and we were just done. Okay, so let's look at the next one. Let's do 18 into 1891. Okay, so first of all, we have 18 into 18 goes 1 time. Subtract 0. How many times does 18 go into 9?
0.
0 times. So we bring down our next number. 91. How about 18 into 91? 5 times. What is 5 times 18?
95 times.
Okay, let's try it. 18 times 5.
400. Just 90.
So we got 90, right? Okay, so times 5 is 90. So we have 1 left over. I'm going to erase this and get it out of our way. Okay, so if we were writing it as a fraction, we would get 105 and 1 over 18, right? That's the answer as a fraction. But we can sometimes, we won't be able to leave it that way, so we need to add a decimal and 3 zeros and keep dividing. Okay, so now let's bring down our next 0. So how about 18 into 10? How many times does that go? 0. So put it up. Let's put our next one. 18 into 100. 5. Good. It's going to go the same number of times. Okay, so that's 90. When we subtract, we will get 10. Anybody see what's happening?
It's repeating.
It's going to repeat. You see, and you can tell right away. As soon as it starts to repeat, you can tell. Because you know we got 100, we'll go 90, 100, 90, and it's just going to keep going. So we know that it's the 5 that's going to repeat. So remember, we just put a line over just the part that repeats, not over the 0, 5, because that would mean it repeated 0, 5, 0, 5, 0, 5, 0, 5. But it doesn't. It just repeats 5. So our answer is 105 and 1/8, or 105.05 repeating. Those are our two choices. Okay, 7 into 1023. Okay, so 7 goes into 1 0 times, 7 into 10 1 time, 7, 3. Okay, how about 7 into 32? How many times does that go?
5.
4, right? Because it's going to be 28. That's 4. Bring down the 3. How many times does 7 go into 43? 6 times. That's 42. I'm going to run out of room here. So I have 1. Now, I've got a remainder still, so I have 146 and 1/7. Or I can keep dividing. 0, 0, 0. Point. Okay, so let's bring down our next one. So 7 into 10 goes 1 time. That's 7. Subtract. I'm really running out of room. Let me see if I can fix this. 10 minus 7. That gives us 3. Bring down our next 0. That's that one. How many times does 7 go into 30? 4 times. That's 28. We have a 2 left. Is it repeating?
Yes.
Not repeating. Because now we have 20. 7 goes into 20. 2 times, that's 14. See, it's not repeating. It's just going to keep on going. So because it's not repeating, we now have this, and we can round that. Okay, so when you see that it's not repeating after 3, you can round it. How many people remember the rules for rounding? The rules for rounding, only a couple of you. Okay, so remember, if we're rounding to 2 places behind the decimal, we have 0.14. Okay, so this is what we're rounding to. And all we're going to do is look at this one, and decide, is it 5 or bigger or less than 5? That will tell us whether this is going to stay a 4 or become a 5. So since it's less than 5, this is going to stay a 4. So when we round it, our answer will be 146.14. And that's approximate, so it's not exact. It's not an exact answer. Okay, so just depending on what they're asking for, you need to know how to do the fraction and the decimal.